Introduction. The best way to learn a new programming language is by writing programs in it. Dennis Ritchie, creator of the C programming language and co-developer of Unix. Why Python? Dennis Ritchie's advice set the tone for your start with Python. Learning Python is a practical and smart choice. Today, Python is the most beginner-friendly and flexible programming language. Its many uses, such as organizing files, sending emails, and analyzing healthcare data, or powering self-driving cars, make Python a great first step toward many opportunities. By learning Python with this book, you will cultivate a problem-solving mindset, unlock your creativity, and gain the ability to build practical, impactful solutions. Python's increased popularity is no coincidence. It is simple and powerful, making it ideal for both beginners and professionals. Its clean syntax is easy to understand and use. For example, Python uses words such as print to display messages. This makes the code more readable and intuitive, unlike other languages that are filled with complex symbols. This readability helps beginners grasp programming concepts quickly and with less frustration. Unlike other programming languages that require significant time just to get started, Python encourages exploration and experimentation from the very first line of code. Python is an object-oriented programming (OOP) language. It enables developers to structure code in a manner that mirrors real-world systems. This promotes clear and organized thinking. The OOP approach builds problem-solving skills that transfer across all technology areas. Industry leaders such as Netflix, Google, and NASA utilize Python for web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and automation. This widespread use demonstrates Python's strength across various fields. Since Python is used so widely, it remains valuable and relevant in a fast-changing technological world. Who this book is for? This book is for individuals who are intimidated by coding or find online information too overwhelming. Whether you are a student new to programming, someone changing careers, or a worker adding new skills, this book is for you. Many new coders face the same problems, thinking that coding is only for tech geniuses who know advanced math or computer science, getting lost in complex tutorials, losing interest after making mistakes, or not seeing how coding applies to real-world jobs. This book tackles those fears by providing you with easy steps and plenty of practice, allowing you to learn one piece at a time. My experience with Python is much like what many beginners go through. My name is Caden Pennor, and I am an IT manager. I started out in business without much technical training. At first, programming seemed too hard. However, I was drawn to technology and wanted to learn more. I tried online resources and learned SQL and C++ later. I took classes, even some at MIT. Along the way, I discovered that Python is easy to use and practical, making it perfect for individuals teaching themselves. In this book, I share tips that helped me. I will explain complex ideas in simple lessons to help you feel less stressed and more confident in your skills. How to use this book. This book is designed for learning by doing. Each chapter delivers short, focused lessons with just enough explanation to get you coding right away. Code examples appear in easy-to-read boxes with step-by-step guidance so you can see why each line matters. Every lesson comes with practice exercises and answer keys, providing you with the opportunity to check your work and learn from mistakes. Your journey begins with setting up Python and proceeds through essential topics, including working with data types, logic, functions, modules, lists, and dictionaries. You'll also learn how to handle errors with debugging. By the final chapter, you'll bring everything together by building real projects such as a number guessing game, flashcard, quiz app, and expense tracker that let you apply your skills to practical situations. To get the most from this book, practice regularly and experiment with the examples. Try changing the code to see what happens, and don't be discouraged if you get stuck. Mistakes are part of the process. Each one is an opportunity to learn and grow. What you'll gain. Learning Python is more than a technical choice. It is an investment in a future where technology shapes all aspects of life and work. Python's broad use makes it a powerful tool for problem solving and innovation. Programming also builds logical reasoning, analytical skills, and adaptability. You will not find extra details here. Each chapter is designed for quick learning. The promise is simple: code in every chapter and build useful skills. Afterward, you will not just know Python, you will create projects and continue learning as a programmer. You've chosen one of the best programming languages. Be patient, practice regularly, and remain open-minded. Learning to code is a journey of discovery and growth. This book will guide you, helping you gain valuable skills and build effective solutions. You made a good choice with this book, and an even better one with Python. Now, turn your curiosity into a skill. Follow the lessons and write your first code. By the end, you'll not just understand Python, you'll build things that matter. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Why Python? Why now? Programs must be written for people to read, and only incidentally for machines to execute. Harold Abelson, computer scientist and co-author of Structure and Interpretation of Computer Programs. What you'll learn. Why Python is the most popular programming language for beginners and professionals alike. How Python powers some of the world's biggest companies, including Google, Netflix, and NASA. Why Python is beginner-friendly, no math genius required. What this book will teach you and what it won't. How Python is a tool for problem-solving, creativity, and automation. Why learning to code is less about memorizing and more about thinking logically. Programming is usually seen as a domain only accessible to the brilliant minds of technology, a place where incomprehensible syntax and algorithms are lurking, waiting to trap you. However, the truth is programming is not quite so much about being a math wizard or a computer science guru. Basically, programming is communication. It is problem solving and providing solutions with the tools that make it easier and faster to visually present your ideas. This is precisely where Python excels. It is a language that prioritizes readability, simplicity, and flexibility, making it an excellent choice for anyone who wants to start coding. The world runs on Python. If you have ever Googled something, streamed a show on Netflix, or followed a space mission on NASA's website, chances are that Python was somewhere behind the scenes. Python is used everywhere. It is within the tools we interact with every day, within the systems that power industries, and within the tech that influences our lives. Google and Python, powering the web. Google is the world's most accessed website, processing billions of searches every day. It is no surprise that Google relies heavily on Python to drive many of its internal tools and systems. The scalability and flexibility of Python make it an ideal solution for handling both small tasks, such as automating internal procedures, and large-scale projects, including search algorithms. From machine learning to big data analysis, Python is deeply integrated within Google's infrastructure. In fact, Google's own Python style guide encourages developers to use Python for a wide range of tasks, from back-end services to building internal tools. It is now a part of the company's core operations. What does that tell us? Python is capable enough for industry giants to entrust it with their most important projects. Netflix and Python, optimizing the viewing experience. Next time you watch your favorite Netflix show, take a moment to appreciate the Python code that powers it behind the scenes. Netflix uses Python extensively for its data analysis and recommendation engines. Python helps process large volumes of data to analyze user behavior and make recommendations for shows and movies tailored to each user. The company's machine learning algorithms, built with Python, learns from user interactions to improve and refine content suggestions over time. Aside from providing recommendations on content, Python helps Netflix in scaling its services to global users. Python's simplicity and compatibility with other technologies allow Netflix developers to concentrate on innovation rather than being bogged down in cumbersome codebases. NASA and Python, taking space exploration to new heights. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, has produced some of the most revolutionary space missions in human history, including the Mars rover and the latest Perseverance mission. However, did you know that Python is playing a major role in many of these missions? Python is used at NASA for numerous tasks. NASA utilizes Python for tasks such as data analysis, robotics control, and automating complex and detailed systems. For example, NASA uses Python for data processing from space probes, signal analysis from other planets, and even robotics control on Mars. Python's rich ecosystem of libraries enables it to be a valuable tool for scientists and engineers who require powerful yet user-friendly tools for their work. So whenever you imagine space exploration, keep in mind that Python is behind it, helping us in exploring the cosmos that lie beyond the stars. Automation in everyday tasks. It is not only major companies such as Google, Netflix, and NASA that depend on Python. Python can also be used to automate daily tasks in both your personal and professional life. You can envision a world where you no longer need to sort through files manually, send standard emails, or follow data in spreadsheets, thanks to Python. With Python, you can also automate such mundane tasks and save yourself time and effort. You can create a Python program to automatically sort your files, copy your data, or even scrape information from websites to study later. The magic of Python is that it helps you keep these things simple with a couple of lines of code, giving you the means to optimize your workflow and letting you concentrate on things that matter more. Busting the "I can't code" myth. One of the most common misconceptions about programming is that it is a club for only tech geniuses. Others imagine that coding requires detailed knowledge of math or a special kind of mind. However, the reality is that coding is a tool. Coding is a practical tool that helps you solve problems and create useful outcomes. The purpose of programming is not to create flawless code, it is to solve problems and build useful and efficient solutions. As soon as you start thinking of coding as a mechanism for working out a problem, it seems so much less scary. You might be making a simple script to automate something, or working on an elaborate machine learning algorithm, but the question is always how you are working out a problem and not how many lines of code you are typing or how sophisticated your algorithms are. You don't need a math background. One of the most prevalent myths about programming is that you have to be a math whiz, but the truth is that programming is more about logic than higher mathematics. While there are some areas, such as data science and machine learning, that do involve math, most of what you do as a programmer does not involve higher algebra or calculus. For example, when creating Python scripts for automating procedures, you are primarily dealing with logical statements, such as if-else statements and data manipulation, including numbers and strings. It is less about solving mathematical problems with sophisticated equations. Python's philosophy is to promote readability, so even beginner programmers can easily learn its basic syntax and begin creating useful programs. Learn problem-solving mindset. Learning to code is, above all, learning how to solve a problem. Programming teaches you to break down a problem into smaller components and then solve each component step by step. This is a method that is not only beneficial when it comes to coding, but also a skill that can be applied to nearly any aspect of life. You could be debugging a work assignment or mapping out a road trip, and the problem-solving abilities that you learn by using Python will get you thinking clearly and logically. Python compared to other languages. When comparing Python with other computer programming languages, it is a wonder why anyone would choose anything else for a newcomer. Programming languages such as C++ or Java have complex syntax where you need to memorize numerous rules and conventions before you can even begin coding functional parts. Python is different, as it was created with readability in mind. Python's syntax is simple and concise, and its nature is such that it closely resembles English words, making it greatly easier to read and write. Python does not overwhelm you with unneeded complexities. To the contrary, you can write useful programs in a matter of lines, which is why it is so accessible. Python's simplicity and flexibility make it so that, regardless of the task, you can focus on solving problems. What this book is and isn't. As we continue, it's necessary to establish expectations. What is this book? And as much as anything, what is not this book? The purpose of this book is straightforward. This book is designed to teach you how to get started with Python, develop coding skills, and confidently create real-world projects. It is a step-by-step tutorial that guides you through Python's most significant concepts and provides numerous hands-on activities to reinforce your learning along the way. However, as with anything, it is beneficial to understand the limitations of what this book can do. It is not a software engineering deep dive, and it is not some sort of textbook that will overwhelm you with theory. Rather, it is hands-on, straightforward, and all about getting you familiar with writing Python code that works for actual projects. Beginner-friendly, practical focus. This book is made for absolute beginners. There is no requirement that you should have any pre-existing coding skills, no requirement to understand algorithms, and no necessity for a math background. Practicality and hands-on learning are what you will find here. From the very start, you will be coding and experimenting with Python yourself. This practical method will be effective in helping you improve your understanding of the material being taught, as well as keeping you engaged and motivated as you work through lessons. This is not one of those books that most traditional textbooks are. This one is action-oriented. Each chapter depends on the previous one, with each new concept introduced that you could put into action immediately by coding. If you're looking for a book that allows you to learn through experience, you're in the right place. Not a complete software engineering course. While this book will teach you Python, it will not make you a professional software engineer, at least, not in the classical sense. Many books and courses delve into deeply technical material, instructing you on detailed and complex data structures, algorithms, and advanced concepts such as design patterns. If you aim to be a software engineer, that is great. But this book won't focus on preparing you for that exactly. Rather, the goal of this book is to give you the basic skills you need to program using Python. We will tackle the basics in excellent detail, and as a byproduct, you will develop your problem-solving skills along the way. If you want to create working Python applications in the real world, whether by automating tasks, making small web applications, or working with data analysis, this book is where you begin. You will be taught the skills necessary to create functional Python programs that accomplish tasks effectively. Coding practice in every chapter. Each chapter of this book is written with action over theory. Rather than devoting space to theory or abstractions only, we will introduce each new subject in Python with straightforward explanations, followed by coding practice and hands-on projects. These projects will help you apply what you have just learned immediately, solidifying each lesson as you build your coding skills. For example, when you study variables and data types in Python, you won't just read about them. You will write code that applies these principles to solve small problems. At the end of each chapter, you should be able to write Python code confidently that accomplishes something useful, whether that's doing math, automating a process, or manipulating data. As you work through the exercises, you'll begin to gain a better sense of how Python works and how to apply it to solve real-world issues. Fun coding projects in Chapter 8. The most exciting part of this book arrives in Chapter 8, when you'll bring together everything you've learned so far by completing a number of major projects. These projects will serve as your learning capstone, offering you the opportunity to build something with a concrete purpose that you can be proud of. These last projects will consolidate all of the important concepts and skills you've been practicing, whether that is creating a basic game, scripting an interesting task, or examining some data. The aim of these projects is not so much to educate you in further Python, but to demonstrate how Python can be used on real problems. At the end of Chapter 8, you will not only have a portfolio of working projects in Python, but you will also have the confidence to tackle even bigger projects on your own. Key takeaway: Python is everywhere, and anyone can learn it. The key to mastering Python is not memorizing rules, but focusing on solving problems creatively and efficiently. Take it one step at a time as you progress through this book. Stay patient and focus on applying what you learn through practical projects.